Why are none of their accounts saying anything about this?
I mean, that's crazy. What is going on?
Do they have some secret plan to not promote her?
The silence is deafening, and Caitlin Clark has had enough. Just moments ago, sources revealed growing tension behind the scenes.
Nike seems to be continuing to fumble the bag when it comes to Caitlin.
We're done with nothing from Nike. If I was a shareholder, I'd be pissed.
Nike is a big company. Why is it that you can't endorse Caitlin Clark?
Nike have ignored nearly everything Caitlin Clark has done.
As Clark's frustration with Nike's blatant disregard has reached a breaking point. But it's not just Nike under fire. Her own agent is now being called out for failing to defend the biggest name in women's basketball.
Her agent, you're there to get on these companies' asses when they're not using your client or treating your client right.
No campaign, no promotion, no recognition. And while the world watches Caitlin rewrite history, the brand that signed her and the person hired to protect her have gone completely quiet.
This morning or yesterday, while the WNBA's tweeting out about Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's tweeting out, where the hell is Nike?
Now Clark's inner circle is cracking, and fans are demanding answers. Has her agent dropped the ball, or is something even bigger happening behind the scenes? The buzz around Caitlin Clark's silence with Nike has finally reached a boiling point.
But I have a feeling that the people around Caitlin Clark are probably pissed about that deal.
And now insiders are confirming what many fans have long suspected. She's not just disappointed, she's furious. Behind closed doors, frustration has been mounting as Nike, the global sportswear giant that once celebrated her signing, has failed to give her the rollout or recognition she clearly deserves.
Worst agent in the world. Worst agent in the history of talent agents. It's crazy. It really is, and people are done.
Imagine having a CC as a brand and saying, we have the most marketable athlete right now in America, but we don't want to market her.
No campaign launch, no press event, no signature shoe promotion. For the biggest name in women's basketball, the treatment has been baffling. And now it's turning into a serious problem.
Nike is a big company. Why is it that you can't endorse Caitlin Clark? I know why y'all don't want to, because it will be ridiculous and embarrassing.
What makes this situation even more explosive is that Clark hasn't been sitting quietly waiting for answers. According to sources close to the situation, she has questioned her own agent directly, pushing for clarity on why Nike has gone radio silent, while other athletes, some with far less influence and visibility, are getting full marketing pushes.
Lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was Nike. And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this? Yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a huge day for Caitlin. She's returning to her alum. Who knows when she will play there again? And she hit a 36-foot three-pointer.
Her frustration reportedly isn't just with the brand, but with the people around her who are supposed to advocate on her behalf. And fans are starting to agree. They've been vocal on social media, asking why the player who broke college scoring records is filling WNBA arenas and single-handedly driving national attention to women's basketball hasn't been treated like the superstar she is.
You're not acting like she's singular. That's the problem. And a lot of people have noticed that.
Her team's lack of urgency in holding Nike accountable is now drawing serious scrutiny. This isn't just about money, it's about value, respect, and presence.
Understand, there's a massive opportunity with this WNBA basketball player that actually is bringing people in that are basketball fans in general, and they're bringing in the casual fan, which has never happened. By the way, you don't believe me? Look at the WNBA ratings for these other games so far.
Caitlin Clark has already proven she's more than just an athlete. She's a movement. And when that kind of generational talent isn't given the platform it's earned, the silence becomes louder than any statement. Now, with Clark reportedly pushing for answers internally, the pressure isn't just on Nike. It's on the people closest to her, and the clock is ticking.
Where are you, Nike? They didn't put out shit. Nike basketball or Nike. Nothing on social media.
What's making this entire situation even more infuriating for fans and insiders alike is the stark contrast between Caitlin Clark's impact and Nike's silence. Since entering the WNBA, Clark has done everything right. She's shown up, performed under pressure, filled arenas, broken viewership records, and captured the hearts of both diehard fans and casual viewers.
Where she moves markets. And when you've got someone who moves markets, you have to pay attention to that person. More people watch this preseason game than game 1 of last year's WNBA Finals.
She's exactly the kind of athlete Nike built its empire around. Young, fearless, dominant, and cultural. And yet, there has been no rollout, no official commercial, no national campaign. Not even a social media push to celebrate the most influential female athlete of her generation.
We have the easiest money we can make, the easiest promotion, but we good.
Where is Nike? Has there ever been a bigger ball drop in the history of athletes than what they have done with Caitlin Clark? Do they not understand?
And this silence hasn't gone unnoticed. Clark's supporters have been sounding the alarm for weeks. Social media has been flooded with questions like, where is Nike? Why hasn't she gotten the same treatment other stars did? Why are they playing it quiet with the biggest rookie in league history?
The reason this is happening is they're scared of the old WNBA fandom. The very people that are mad at all you Caitlin Clark fans, Nike doesn't want to make mad. Caitlin Clark's agent, Erin Kane, she said she's singular. Yeah, but the problem is you're not putting the pressure on these companies to use her right, most notably Nike.
Other major athletes who signed with Nike were welcomed with high-budget marketing campaigns, viral ad drops, and signature merchandise rollouts. Clark, despite all her accolades, is being treated like a second-tier athlete.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect, call it the Caitlin Clark effect.
And fans are starting to believe that something deeper is at play. That's where the pressure on her agent intensifies. When Caitlin signed with Nike, it was supposed to be a power move, a partnership between a generational talent and a global brand.
Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
But that partnership now looks one-sided. Sources indicate that Clark has begun questioning whether her agent has truly been fighting for her interests or simply trying to maintain relationships behind the scenes. The agent's failure to push Nike into action or to demand answers on behalf of his client has become a growing concern.
And then why is at Nike not treating her like they are marketing other players? Every players in the league are getting advantages of CC's momentum except for Caitlin.
In the world of elite sports representation, silence isn't just disappointing, it's unacceptable. To make matters worse, Clark's influence is only growing. Every game she plays boosts ratings. Every appearance she makes draws crowds. She's literally shifting the economics of the WNBA.
People were so excited that Caitlin Clark would be returning to her alum, to Iowa, to play at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
And still, she doesn't have the visible backing she deserves. Fans have pointed out how other rookies with far less cultural presence are getting featured in major ads.
That some of her sponsors would want to show her support on social media. They tweeted a photo of her and they said, "Real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark."
Some are starting to wonder if Clark's race, her refusal to play into narratives, or her ability to stand on her own terms might be playing a role in this apparent blackout.
Pretty exciting. One of the big reasons fans flock to State Farm Arena is, of course, the Caitlin Clark effect.
The best player in America, the best shooter in America. Watch her play. She plays at a high level.
She's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years.
She's the only one capable of taking nothing and making it something. The WNBA was nothing before Caitlin Clark.
But Caitlin isn't sitting back and letting it happen. According to close sources, she's begun applying pressure internally, questioning her team's strategy, calling out the lack of results, and making it clear that she didn't come this far to be overlooked. She's never been about attention, but she's always been about respect. And right now, Nike's silence feels like the opposite.
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlin Clark games. I would have had 2 packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say 15 to 18 game Caitlin Clark package.
The tension is rising. Her agent's reputation is on the line. Nike's credibility is being questioned. And Caitlin Clark? She's still dominating on the court, but behind the scenes, she's done playing nice. The era of quiet acceptance might be over. Now, with the pressure reaching its peak, the spotlight is no longer just on Caitlin Clark's performance.
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this.
It's on her brand, her representation, and the choices being made behind the scenes. As Clark continues to shatter expectations on the court, the glaring absence of a Nike-driven narrative has created a void that's becoming impossible to ignore. This isn't just a missed opportunity. It's a growing PR disaster for everyone involved. Nike, once known for jumping ahead of cultural waves, now finds itself trailing behind.
She's an incredibly hard worker. She's a high IQ player. She's a perfectionist. Like, she wants to get better. She lives in the gym. And so you knew that growth was going to take place, and having the opportunity to watch her on a daily basis and how she approaches the work. Like, there are work ethics and there are work styles, right? And a work style of not wasting reps, of not wasting time, of being very intentional about a growth process.
They had the chance to embrace Clark as the face of a new era in women's sports, to lead the charge, to set the tone, but instead their silence is making headlines. And Clark, who has always focused on her game rather than drama, is now being forced to face something she never asked for. A public branding crisis rooted not in failure, but in her overwhelming success.
They will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
At the same time, the scrutiny on her agent is only growing. Fans and sports insiders are beginning to question whether he truly understands the moment. The cultural gravity Caitlin Clark represents. She's not just a player. She's a once-in-a-generation talent who's moved the needle more than anyone in recent women's basketball history.
That's why she's so incompetent. Caitlin Clark still has the worst contract in sports history. No doubt. I mean, she let Nike off very light.
I was Caitlin Clark, I would call my agent and I would have them get in touch with some lawyers, and I will be trying to get out of that Nike deal as fast as I can because they've been disrespectful.
If her representation can't secure the recognition she deserves, especially from a brand that already signed her, then serious questions have to be asked. Caitlin Clark may not be one to complain publicly, but behind the scenes, her actions are speaking volumes. She's standing up for herself. And as her legend grows, so does the expectation that the people around her rise to the same standard. Because while Clark continues to lead on the court, she's now being forced to lead off it too. And this time, the stakes are bigger than basketball.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Caitlin Clark has never asked for the spotlight. She's earned it. But now with Nike silent and her agent under fire, the battle off the court is becoming just as intense as the one on it. She's proven her worth time and time again, not just as a player, but as the face of a new generation in women's sports.
For whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall, Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
Pretty exciting. One of the big reasons fans flock to State Farm Arena is, of course, the Caitlin Clark effect.
The best player in America, the best shooter in America. Watch her play. She plays at a high level.
She's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years.
She's the only one capable of taking nothing and making it something. The WNBA was nothing before Caitlin Clark.
And yet the recognition she deserves isn't coming from the people who promised to back her the loudest. This isn't just a missed marketing opportunity. It's a wake-up call.
This team is going to break so many records this year: attendance, viewership, merch sales, all of the things.
This was a preseason WNBA game. It is unbelievable what it is Caitlin Clark does.
Whenever Caitlin Clark takes the floor, that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball.
Caitlin Clark isn't waiting quietly anymore. The message is clear. She's done letting others write the script. From here on out, she's demanding the respect she's earned. And if Nike won't step up, someone else will.
They will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat. Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. Mm-hmm. She has it. She's got the thing. We can't assign it.
There have always been the dominant teams. There's UConn. There is South Carolina. I think that the fact that Caitlin Clark started on a team that did not have mind-blowing talent existing and brought that team to a championship really says something about you as a player. And when you are ranking players, you are ranking them as an individual unit rather than a team.
Caitlin Clark is becoming the best player in the entire WNBA, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.